Hi there. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And I'm Sweet Baby James, otherwise known as James Maynard.
And tonight I am going to talk about the inner revolution, changing the world from the inside out. Before I do that, I'd like to turn us over to James,
who will introduce our show. And our show is Granny Rocks Our World, otherwise known as Grow. And she rocks our world with her wit, her wisdom, and her very uncommon sense, which seems to make a lot of sense once we hear it. And we air every Monday and Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So thanks for being with us, and stay tuned. Over to you, Granny.
Thank you. And hello, Luann, who has
Hello.
waved at us. Thank you so much. So some of you are rolling in after a big Thanksgiving event, and we're already getting started for Christmas. I went into the kitchen tonight to eat with James, and there was Christmas music playing. And, you know, it annoys me that we have, it's not the music itself. Some of that is fun, but I mean, it's all of this love and this goodwill towards people, or men, of course, is the word, but and I ain't seeing it. Are you? Not in the world that we live in. So it just brings up why we need an inner revolution. And Elizabeth said, hello, we sent us love, and we are sending you a hello and love back.
Yeah, we need to change the world from the inside out.
Now, tonight I'm starting something. I'm starting a whole series. So it's not going to just be tonight. So I'm going to be expounding and expanding on all of this over, who knows, maybe the rest of my life. But certainly, you know, we're rolling into 2020, and politics is on people's mind. But that's the problem. We still see politics as politics. And Todd said hi, and hi back to you,
Hi,
Todd.
Todd.
So I'd like to start this conversation. So as I said, this is going to be a long conversation that's going to go on for months. Who knows? Maybe until I'm dead. You know, while most people are polarizing around a lot of issues, we've discovered, of course, that there is a culture of verbal attack and denigrating the opposition that has emerged in our country. And it's really awful. It is just the opposite of the Christmas spirit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And yet lots of people who would claim to be Christian are doing the same thing. And I have experienced this. I did a show on climate change, and I don't know, it got into some kind of a Facebook time warp. And everybody who watched it from our boosting had something nasty to say to me and hated the show. But when I say nasty, I mean nasty. You know, they weren't making reasoned arguments. They were just attacking me personally. In fact, some of them were attacking how thin James and I are. Like, that really has anything to do with climate change. Listen, guys, if this continues, we'll all be thin. We won't have enough food. So, you know, so Granny is sick and old, but that's a reason to I mean, it's just awful.
Discount climate change, which has the consensus of climate scientists.
Exactly. So we're not even in agreement on the rules of the game. You know, you're driving down the street and you want to know that you're in America where everybody drives on the right side of the street and not on the left side of the street, right? If you go to England, they're going to reverse that, okay? Oh, Assis said, me voilà pour te voir heureuse. Oh, she's happy that she is seeing us live from Algeria. Yay. So good to see you.
Assis?
Yes. So it's really great that you're here tonight, because I want to make an announcement about this show, and I'm glad that you're here and that so many of our wonderful viewers are going to be here. So without traffic rules, we would all be crashing into one another. Well, that's what's happening now, isn't it? I mean, and I'm sure this is happening in other nations too, not just in the United States. We don't have any rules of the road, or the rules of the road are kick and be kicked, punch and be punched. I mean, even in boxing, you're not supposed to hit below the belt, are you?
Right. You're not.
No, but you see, in our discourse, in our nation, you can hit people anywhere, above, below. And she says, good health, good day, Monsieur James. Okay.
Oh, merci beaucoup.
Now, we are lacking in agreement about fundamentals. You know, the fundamental is what it means to be a human being, how to treat other human beings, and how to treat members of other species, plant species, animal species, and so on. We are lacking in agreement about those things. And that means we need a meaningful conversation about what it means to be an American, if you're an American, or to be a human being if you're a human being, and if you're not, you know, I don't know what you're going to say on the topic, but we need meaningful conversation. And why are we? And what do we need? What do human beings need? And what does the planet need? Well, why is this conversation so difficult to have? It seems like, you know, it's a duh, isn't it? Because few of us are bringing it up. You know, we're happy to bring up the latest that Trump did today, or the left, or the Democrats, or whatever it is. It's pretty disgusting. There, Debbie is saying, hi, James and Beth. Hello,
Hi,
Debbie. And we're not bringing it up. We're lost in disputes about policies. We don't want to open up a topic that might threaten us. You would think that having a fundamental conversation about what it is to be a human being should not be threatening, but oh well, that's humans. Because we are nice only until we feel threatened.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, I don't want to be nice after that. If I feel threatened, my group, my family, myself, my, you know, buns, then there's no holds barred. You know, I was under attack. I mean, I can shoot somebody because they've come on my lawn, right? It's self-defense. And so that's kind of, you know, so how can you have a conversation when we've all separated out those things where we don't have to pay attention to how we're impacting others, or what we're doing, or you know, really considering our own impact on the planet, because it's, after all, it's only us, isn't it? I mean, I'm the only one who exists. So how can we change the conversation so that we are not afraid to talk to each other, to get honest and to confront our challenges? And we are afraid to talk to each other. I don't know what kind of a Thanksgiving you had, whether you had one where people were fighting, or you had a Thanksgiving where people just didn't talk about anything. Or you all, you know, everybody in your family belongs to the same camp. And that's what we're going to start doing right here in Grow. And I don't think that the name of this show is going to continue to be Grow. I think it's going to be In a Revolution, Changing the World from the Inside Out, or something like that, because that's what we need to be talking about. Now, I just want to start on this conversation because it's deep. Because we're talking about changing from the inside out. So we can't just change things from the outside and think everything is going to be okay. For example, we can all say, oh, there's so much polarization ever since Trump was elected. Well, there was polarization before Trump was elected, or he would not have been elected. Why do we polarize? How can we stop polarizing? And to stop polarizing doesn't mean, by the way, could you stop Lily from that squeaking that toy?
Okay.
She's my greatest fan, but right now.
Lily. Gotta stop. Good.
So not polarizing doesn't mean we don't have lively discussions about meaningful topics. It means we stop demonizing other people, and we actually have meaningful conversations about those topics. I never hear my meaningful conversations about those topics. I'm always hearing mudslinging from one side or the other. I hear people coming in with like some smidgen of truth and blowing it up and saying, well, isn't this true, or isn't that true? And then using that as an excuse to attack each other. So how can we stop that? And where is the will and the motivation to shift our focus from competition and demonization to mutual understanding and support. And I'm talking about competition is very much part of this demonization that we're doing, because there's winners and there's losers. And if you don't win, you're going to lose. And, everything is a debate. I don't want a debate. I want a conversation. Now, is there even time to save ourselves and to avoid the total destruction of the environment that we need in order to survive? I don't even know. That's a good question, right? How can we alleviate the suffering of people who are poor, ill, elderly, stressed, homeless, without insurance, discriminated against, overworked, trying to prove something, addicted? Is there anyone left? Young.
Well, there's the well-to-do, the wealthy.
Yeah, but they can
powerful.
Be stressed, James. They can be
That's
ill.
true.
They can be elderly. They can be stressed.
That's true.
They can be discriminated against. They can feel threatened. It's everybody.
Yeah, in that we are one.
Do we even want to do something about that suffering? Is the Christmas spirit just a joke? I'd like to know. For us to tackle these problems, and this is not a teleprompter, but I have a few notes here, so I don't forget everything I want to say, and then I will anyway, and then I add a million things that are not on the sheet. But for us to tackle the problems, we have to come together and agree on one thing: that society and the economy should serve the needs of people and the earth. And we don't even share that agreement, because ultimately, and this is a horrible thing to say, isn't it? Most of us feel that society and the economy should serve the needs of us. Us, our family, our individual selves, our peers, whoever we identify with. Shanna says, "Hi, sweet baby James and Beth. So glad I finally got to listen to your wise words again." Well, we are so happy to see you.
So happy to see
Welcome back, Shanna.
Yes.
Yay. And you came at the right time. And go back and replay so that you can see the beginning of the show if you didn't see it. So, in order to agree on the fundamental idea that the purpose of society and the economy is to serve the needs of people and the earth, we are going to have to change. We are going to have to change from the inside out, because that is not what we automatically feel. No matter how nice you are, there's this moment where you feel threatened, and it's like, ugh! And it isn't the culture that we're living in. It's not the culture of our world at all. And I'm not going to speak of every country or every nation, but I see very similar things going on across the world. Now, this is what happens when we don't have an inner revolution. When we focus on policies and politics, we polarize around issues, and therefore we set ourselves up for a constant power ping pong game. I call it the pendulum swing. So you take the election of, that's for meeting the needs of people on the earth. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Yes. Thank you, Todd.
That's for meeting the needs of people on the earth.
Thank you, Todd. We have an agreement. So the dogs are going crazy. I don't know why, but they're running around like.
They're very happy.
They are. They love us. They love our show. So I said that when we polarize around issues, we're setting ourselves up for a constant power ping pong game. Take the election of Obama. For many people, Obama's election represented a victory for diversity and kindness. Oh, really? I haven't noticed that that's been the case. I mean, not only were there flaws in my way of thinking of the things that Obama was doing, but look at what happened. For many people, it felt like a threat to their positions in the world, and they were already trying to figure out how to get him out of office or to undo everything that he was trying to do. And no sooner was he in office than the opposition started gaining strength and influence. The rise of white nationalism, racist caricatures of the president, claims that Obama wasn't a natural born American.
And therefore an illegitimate president.
That's right. That's right. These are just some of the things that happened, and these are just symbolic of what happened, of how the opposition started to galvanize. Let's talk about another issue. As soon as abortion was recognized as legal, the pro-life movement began a slow but determined march to make it illegal again, right? And that's what's going on right now. Boyd said, always healthy. I'm not sure what he means by that, but
well,
maybe,
thank you, Boyd.
Maybe, exactly. Thank you. So the election of Trump has galvanized the left. Oh, yes, the left can say, yeah, we're so excited. Believe me, as people are mobilizing against Trump, the pro-Trumpers are mobilizing also. And if by any chance Trump is kicked out of office, believe me, the swing will start happening again. I don't know, it'll be 4 years, 8 years, if we even have 8 years left on the planet because of climate change. So it never ends, does it? And we think that we're winning when we win, but we're not winning. We don't win because we keep ending up going back and forth and going back and forth and hurting people.
And staying polarized.
And staying polarized. This pendulum swing will never end. If we elect a government that supports public health, watch just how long it will take for there to be a counter thrust. Look what happened to Obamacare, right? Why does this happen? Because in a competitive universe, there are winners and losers never forget.
Yeah.
So as long as it's still put that way, and so has won the election in South Carolina, right? Oh, so the opposition is already forming. See, we don't have a concept that what we're trying to do is bring together people in South Carolina to solve their collective problems. It's like, who's going to win? And then we're going to gerrymander the districts and make sure that we stay in power. And it's all about power and losing and winning and power and losing and winning and penduluming. And if we are going to co-create a universe where we are actually making progress towards solving our collective needs, we are going to have to co-create a culture where we actually care about each other. What an idea, right? And where we actually are taking seriously what is for the highest good of all, including me. And that's an important part of the inner revolution. And I'm going to get into all of this in more detail later. And Todd says, amen, sister.
Thank you, Todd.
Todd. In order to have a world where people ask, what do we need and what's for the highest good of all, we have to have an inner revolution, because that is an inner revolution. That is moving away from the me universe, the short-term thinking universe.
The competitive universe.
The competitive universe. Now, is it possible? How can we do that? That's what I'm starting a series of videos on this topic. As I said, I don't know if this is going to go on forever, or maybe things will change and I won't have to be yelling and crying over the inner revolution. Maybe we'll actually have one, and then I'll be talking about retiring. Anyway, I want to encourage these conversations. I want to meet with others who want to figure out our next step. I mean, what do? We are coming on 2020, and we are doing politics as usual. And I don't blame the candidates. They are so in stuck. You know, oh, what percentage did you get? And how many donors do you have? And how are you going to get on the debate stage? And how can you put down the other person? As they have no choice. They're in it. It's the same thing with our government. I mean, people run for office, and they have to win, and and it's so ugly. They have to put down the other guy, because otherwise you're a sitting duck. See, like Granny is sitting here, a sitting duck with all these nasty Facebook comments. So, our next step as we head into 2012 has to be the inner revolution, changing the world from the inside out. That means we have to find a way to change our reactions and our responses, and we're going to have to take a lot more accountability for it, and we have to stop playing games, enjoying the fight, and then saying that other people are no good because they're fighting. You know, we say, oh, it's so terrible that those people are saying nasty things about so and so, but I can say as many nasty things as I want because I'm getting this off my chest. I want to know if you're interested in an inner revolution. If you're not, I'm doing it anyway. That's what it is, because it's the only answer. And if you are interested, we need to come together. Now, some of the things that we can do, Todd says, yes, thank you. Look.
Yes.
All right. Cheat sheet. What can you do? I want to ask you this question. One of the things you can do is tell people about this program, and I'm pretty sure I'm changing the name. So you'll be telling them about something other than grow, but I'm going to give people a little notice, right? But you know who it is. It's us.
Right.
It's Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 Pacific time. I want you to start sharing this program if you haven't already been doing it. I mean, sharing episodes, telling people about this program. Inner Revolution. We have a book, a free book called The Handbook for the Inner Revolution. If you go to bethgreen.org, which is my website, you'll see a button for your free book. Do it. It's easy. That book is less than 100 pages. I'm not asking for much. It's a handbook to how to make an inner revolution and how to be an inner revolutionary.
Yeah, within oneself, which in turn affects people in your world.
That's right. Because we have to change from the inside out. We have to change on the inside. We have to change on the outside. It's not like, oh, we're all going to become meditators and that's going to solve our problems. No, we need to become more healed and well human beings so that we can cope with what's going on. And I appreciate people who do. I want you to think about these topics in between shows. You know, not just, oh, that was really interesting. What did she say? You know, watch it twice. Go back and think about it. Talk to your friends about the topics. So, you know, have we thought about this? Don't you feel like this is kind of sickening that we're all going to go through the same pendulum swing? Whoever wins next time is just going to galvanize the opposition even more. And participate, as some of you do when you make comments. And there's more, but I don't know exactly what it is yet. I would like to find some really good people to interview, but I'm having technical problems getting interviews on the live stream. Believe me, I've been working on it. I have nothing but technical problems. Tonight I tried to write in the title of the show in the description, but it wouldn't work. It decided that I couldn't type in the word the. It typed EHT, even though I typed in THE. Trust me, I know how to spell the, and I tried it over and over and over. So, I mean, there's lots, and guys, I want to do something more than just sit on Facebook, but I don't know what. You got an idea? You let me know. You have a place where I can speak via the internet? You let me know. I want to talk about the inner revolution. And I'm going to be developing these themes, and we are going to blow the socks off this whole popsicle stand, which makes no sense. But didn't you love the nonsense of it?
Or maybe the popsicle stand vendor.
You know, we've got to do it now. There is no time. It's 2020. It's the end of the world in terms of climate. I don't care anymore about convincing everybody who thinks I'm an idiot. Go ahead, think whatever you want. I want to connect to the people who don't think I'm an idiot, but who actually think that we collectively are idiots, that our society is cockamamie, is upside down. And I'm telling you guys, we are coming to the end of the days, and I'm not talking about in the biblical sense, although maybe in that sense too. So I want you to be thinking about it, and you can send me comments saying, oh, I have a great idea. But don't just send me a comment that says, you should go speak to the NAACP. If you don't have a contact there, send me suggestions where you can help me to reach out to other people. That's why I'm saying just talking about this program to others is helping me. Help me.
Yeah.
I need you. I need your help. I need your brains. I need your bodies. That's for sure.
We need change.
We need change. We all need change. Stay tuned. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to figure it out as we go along. So if you like this idea, give this show a love. Give it a love. Love. Give it a like. Like. Give it a comment. Comment. Share it. Share it.
Cheerleader for the inner revolution.
Come back on Wednesday and let's see what we can do together. And I see there's some comments. Elizabeth said, I love this subject. Yes, we need an inner revolution so we can stop the pendulum swing. I'll talk to others about this show. Oh my God, we've inspired
Thank you, Elizabeth.
and you know,
yes.
I forgot to tell you something. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which I know is ungodly for a lot of people, we have a conversation group which is led by me. And it was called Growth, and I'm going to change it to Inner Revolutionary Training or something like that. And in that discussion, I lead the discussion. We look at how these things, have to do with us, what it has to do with us. You know, how are we not supporting the inner revolution? That would be a great conversation to have, right? And you are all invited to take a look at Growth, and we have, as soon as I get the post up, you'll see links. You can't say there's nothing to do.
There are things you can do.
There are things you can do. And there are many things that you'll think of that I haven't even got enough gray cells to think of. Yes. Love you.
Yes.
And see you on Wednesday.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
And there we go.